everybody, and welcome to the FFL Solidity Team call. My name is Marisa Maggio. Today is April 4th of 2024. Super excited to be in April week 1 as we are coming towards the end of cruise qualification, but we do have this full month to do it. So welcome to the call. But with that being said, we have a very special guest on with us today, somebody who I've seen from afar, working hard, seems like he shows up every day for himself and for the people around him, and definitely is out there helping families, protecting 40, 50 families per month, which is great, and on the up and up from there. Without further ado, we have Mr. Mel Tejada on with us today. Mel, how are you doing?
Well, I still got hair, so maintaining my hair.
There we go. Love to hear it. And did I pronounce your last name correctly?
Yeah. Just imagine the J's and H. You got it.
All right. Perfect. All right. Well, with all that being said, Mel, just to kind of introduce the call, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you were doing before Family First Life, and kind of what got you into the insurance industry here with Family First Life.
Yeah. So I was selling luxurious above ground pools, and there's a season to it. So I just got out of college, and I decided to start sales because I had another business where we do management services for medical practices. So I had to pay my staff, pay marketing and all that stuff. I can't do that while looking for a regular job, especially if I don't like it. So I was looking for something that I like, and I decided to go to the pool industry. And I learned a lot there, and it was all in person. And I did that for about 6 months. And there's always a pool season, and it ends in July 31st. And before July 31st, I was like, oh, I got to find something else because, I still got this business going on. There's expenses, and we haven't hit critical mass yet. So let me see if I can find something else. And you know how the universe works and how phones work, and they hear everything you say. So like 2 hours later, I see a commercial from Dave Witcher and Todd Hausberger, and they're talking, and there's an interview there. And he says, hey, I help 25 minutes in a week. I was like, what? Oh, it sounds cool. Okay, what else do they do? And they help with financial protection, mortgage protection, all this stuff. And I'm like, okay, service. I can add value to the community, to the team, leadership positions. I'm in, and the rest is history.
Love it. So you went from coming out of college, going into essentially the pool business, knowing it has a season, knowing that essentially there was an expiration date, for lack of a better term, and you were like, I got to figure something out. And then, like you said, the universe works, and our phones are definitely listening. And then, lo and behold, you see something pop up with Dave, and you're like, here we are. So yep. I love it. And Mel, roughly how long ago was that?
Right about almost 3 years, 2.5 years. Yeah.
Awesome. So now coming into the insurance industry and being in the insurance industry, I can't help but from afar, it looks like you're extremely disciplined. Would you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. With that being said, talk to us a little bit about your non-negotiables, like things that like dead set, like Mel is doing every day for himself and or his business, and kind of the psychology behind almost how if we're doing those right things, it's going to trick our mind to do the right thing pretty much throughout the day.
Yeah, that's a great question. So you got what is called goals, and then you got standards. They both have to go hand by hand. Otherwise, there will be a disconnect, and you won't do what you say you're going to do. For instance, if you say you are going to the gym tomorrow morning, and that's your goal, to increase your muscle mass, to look better for yourself, and be able to lift X amount of weights. If you're in the military, pass the physical training test, whatever, right? That's the goal. Now, the standard non-negotiables is I'm not gonna eat junk food in the night, because if I eat junk food in the night, it's gonna be more difficult to wake up in the morning because you're gonna feel tired. That food does not give you energy at all. So why would you eat that? If you're preparing for an event, for instance, in life insurance, if you say that you want to help 50 families a month, and that's the goal. Now, can everybody set a goal? Yes. Can you set a goal for 50, 100, 150, whatever? You can set a goal. That's easy to do. It doesn't cost you money. Now, what it comes to is the non-negotiables, the standards. If, showing up to the office no later than, in my case, 8:45, 8:55, I start at 9, right? I start at 9 on the phones, non-negotiable. I don't pick up the phone from my mom. I don't pick up the phone from my dad or family members or best friends. I see calls coming in, even people in the business. If they call me and they're not my client on the phone right now, they're not going to get my attention. I have 100% focus on what I'm trying to do, IPAs, income producing activities. So that's one of the non-negotiables specifically for life insurance, your business hours, your office hours. My office hours are from 9 to 8 p.m. Sometimes a little bit later if you're getting on a dogfight day, which you will have dogfight days.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I love how you're saying, like, you know, these are my office hours. I think that that's a really powerful line right there, because I think some of us, we don't have office hours and we're doing telesales in an office. Guys, we need office hours, right? It's like if we went and got started at ABC job, they're going to tell us we got to be here at this time, we leave at this time. Mel is saying, I stepped up for myself and I said, hey, I don't come to the office any later than 9 a.m. I'm here by 8:45, maybe 8:55. And I'm going to work from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. And he's like, those are my office hours. I'm not confused. I also love how you said you're focused on what the task at hand. It's really easy in this business, especially doing telesales, to be on the phone with the potential client, to be on your phone texting somebody back, right? And to be also checking your gateway to see if your number's updated. All right. Like, we shouldn't be doing all those things at the same time. Just like if we're in the home, we're with the client. It sounds like what you're saying, Mel, is when you're with your client, you're with your client.
Yeah, and some people will be like, well, I've done it in the past. And I have this fact that I can tell you right now for those of you, especially the YouTubers, like you say, well, it works for me. I'm on Instagram, I'm watching Netflix, and I'm also on the phone, and I help the family. Now, it worked when it works, and now you build the belief that it works every time you do it. Not gonna happen. So just make sure that you're focused from 9 to whatever time you want to work. That's office hours. The other non-negotiable is the people you hang around with. You are the average. All my mentors say, including Dave, you're the average of the 5 people you hang around with. Who do you hang around with? Morons, bums, or top producers, or top agency builders, even people from other industries. What mentors do you have? Are they alive or are they dead? You can have mentors who are no longer here, from books, from podcasts, from programs. What are you listening to? When I wake up in the morning, the night before, I put my clothes ready for the gym and for the day. If I got to steam something, I'll do it real quick. Obviously shower. And then when I wake up or when I rise, I visualize the day again, say thank you, always grateful. My prayers are always grateful. I'm not asking God for anything. I'm just being grateful that my heart is beating. And then I put my clothes on and go to the gym and immediately start listening to the song that Madison Pimentel told me about, Motivation by, we can look it up, but it's a great song. It's just everything you need to know about how your day should go. The song just recites it every time. So I'll play it in the morning. And Freddie knows about this because he came here for the lock and spent a week with me. And then after the gym, I come back, shower, and put a podcast on about advanced sales techniques or business operations. Everything I'm doing, I'm always adding value to my craft. Or if not, I'm learning about something, or, spreading the word of God, talking to somebody, advising on something. It's always doing productive stuff, because when this heart starts beating, you're gone.
And I think that there's a lot to unpack what you just said. First, what I heard you say was essentially you have a PM routine. You have something you're doing at night. This is what it looks like for Mel. Mel's clothes are ready to go in the morning. I'm like, if I could give anybody one piece of advice, it's that right there. You'll feel like a new person when you wake up and all your stuff's just there for you waiting. And then it sounds like you also have a morning routine. Guys, if we don't have a morning routine or an evening routine at all, the routine is going to be whatever it is that day, which, to be honest, is probably not going to be in anything that's going to help us the following day. So, yeah. Or that day. And it also sounds like, Mel, one of my questions for you is going to be about your attitude. And I think that how you just wrapped up what you said just says a lot about you. You talked a lot about visualization. You said you wake up in the morning and you're visualizing your day, right, to happen in the way you'd like it to, but also that you're grateful for what you have. You're not necessarily saying, I need this, and I need this, and God, make my life easier, give me this. You're just thanking God that you woke up with a beating heart, right? And I love that, because in all seriousness, we can all get there mentally, like a true attitude of gratitude, like nothing can mess you up. It really
Yeah.
can't. And you're wrapping it up with the podcast now. So it seems like you're doing these steps to make sure your day is going in the proper direction. Even the song, I love that, because it's giving you maybe 3 to 5 minutes of upbeat. You're jamming to it, you're loving it, you're kicking it. It's cool. It's putting your vibes up, right? Now, of course, we all have, moments, days, whatever it might be, that they don't go exactly how we planned. Okay.
Right.
Now, in those moments, Mel, how do you dictate your attitude? How important is it to have like a true attitude of gratitude? Like, not even to be corny. Like, would you consider yourself that you have that? And if so, why has it always been that way for you?
Yeah, I think it all started when my grandfather from my dad's side unfortunately got diagnosed with pancreatic cancer back in, I think it was 2006, 2008. And he lost his ability to walk for years. And he could have said, well, I'm done. I'm just going to stay, disabled and on a wheelchair forever. Right. I think that's my first mentor. He's a business owner over there in Dominican Republic on the agriculture side. He's also president of the agriculture organization over there. I mean, he's a top dog, like they would call it, right? I was fortunate enough to get to meet him and go to his house every weekend, learn from him, aspects of the life. So long story short, he couldn't walk, and we went to visit him one day at the hospital, and he said, I know you're going to the United States of America, 16 years old. I may not see you again, but I'll try to walk before I die. I'll try to walk again. He's still alive and he's walking.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And that's your first mentor. And right there, the fact that Mel's able to be vulnerable for like 1 second and be like, hey, like I love this guy. This man taught me so much. This man, before I left to the USA, said, like, I might not see you again, but I'm gonna try to walk. And now he's there, he's doing well, and he's walking, Mel.
Yeah.
By the grace of God. I love that. And you said that's your first mentor. So it's like when you start learning from somebody who truly, it seems truly operated from a place of attitude of gratitude, of also, I'm not just gonna throw the towel in and give up. I'm gonna fight this thing for me, for us, for everybody around me, right? That's a really, really powerful, powerful thing. And I can imagine that you're really proud, Mel, that he's in that position. And I'm just thankful for you and your family. Thank you for sharing that, because that's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it goes back to what you said about mentors, right? We do need those people in our lives, guys. They might not all be in this business. Now, I think that one of them or some of them should be, but they're not all going to start here. But you have to, just like Mel did, you got to learn who to listen to, right? Like I have like one of my aunts, she's crazy. She's so crazy. Like I love her so much, but she is bananas. Okay. It's like, I know what she says to me. I can't take it literally or seriously. Right. But then I have another aunt who, when she sits me down and has a conversation with me, it's very, very intentional and it's detail oriented to make sure I understand where she's operating, so to say, from a place of thought. And guys, that's a mentor. That's helping you understand how you're perceiving things, why you're perceiving things, or how to unravel things, so to say. So Mel, thank you so much for sharing that story. But guys, like your mentors out there, if you don't have one person right now that you're like, oh, this person really helps me out a lot, that's why you're not doing good in this business. And I say that with all love. Mel, how many mentors would you say you got?
For every area that I want to improve, for example, like in life insurance, Dave's my mentor, Todd's my mentor, Brandon, Madison, Frederick. I mean, if I miss anybody, sorry. And for my other business, I got 3 mentors, people who have been there, done that, one including a billionaire. I mean, who gets to have a billionaire as a mentor, right? So I'm grateful for that too. And he's part of my business. And I don't talk to him every day, but I do have some time with him once or twice a month. And that's all I need.
Right. Right.
Yeah. People who've
And
been
with
there, done that, not people who like are your same stage per se. People who have been there, done that. Because you can talk to somebody who's read like 1,000 books, but you can also talk to somebody who's been there, done and done like 1,000 transactions. Added value to the community, this and that. So choose wisely.
absolutely, absolutely. And like just like Mel said, like get out there, talk to people. The first 5 people Mel named, they all work here. You know what I mean? So it's like, guys, surround yourself with people who are working, who are getting it done. And like Mel said, surround yourself with somebody who you want to be walking in their shoes one day. So that's really important. Um, Now, as it pertains to your schedule, Mel, so you're killing it right now, all telesales. Is that right?
Yeah, over the
All
phone.
right.
No no Zoom call, no FaceTime, just in case some FaceTime, but just regular over the phone like this.
All right. So all over the phone. So I love that. Now, were you in the home before you were on the phone?
Yes, I was not aware of telesales. I could do that, so I went in home. Yeah.
Okay. Talk to us a little bit about kind of what things looked like for you when you were in home and what they look like for you now. If it was a tough transition or if it was something you were excited about.
I think it's on a case by case basis, and I love going in a home for people who don't smoke. I love to, not discriminating people who smoke. I just can't stand the smell. So I'm glad I'm doing telesales. That even rhymes. You can put that in a poem. Anyways, I was kind of complicated for me because I have another business and I had to be on Zoom calls. So I had to go to the homes in a suit. And Freddie will tell you this: do not go into the home in a suit because they will think you're there to sell them, like the old way of selling life insurance. But I get away with it because my mom says I'm good looking, I think. So, but it was complicated because I had to be on Zoom in South Carolina, hot, and go to the home. And then when I had a smoke, I was like so uncomfortable. I even tell them, but it is what it is. But if you're going in home, it works. Over the phone, Zoom, in home, it works if you make it work because the blueprint is there. There's no question about it.
So talk to us. So I love that. I'm with you on the smoking. I'm like, and the suit. Yeah, like Mel said, if you're wearing a suit in the house, stop doing that because you're already killing it before you even walked in. Um, so with that being said, Mel, now kind of talking about your telesales process. You mentioned you're in the office from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Is that like 5 days a week, 6 days a week? What does that look like?
5 days a week from Monday to Friday, and then Saturdays it's kind of like a cleanup day, follow up system time up until like 2 o'clock, sometimes 5 p.m. if I got a couple or several from the West Coast.
Got it. Got it. That makes sense. And then as it pertains to kind of like your lead flow. So this is something that I always like to talk about. I think it evolves over time, right? You're able to get more familiar with the business. So you're able to invest more into your lead sources or source, so to say. How has your lead flow changed and what does it kind of look like now and what are you spending?
Yeah, so I have a unique type of way on how I do this. Dave and I work together, so we split our costs, and let's just say 4,500 a month for me, and then 4,500 for him. That's about 20 to 25 leads a day. You know, it's daily ad spend, so it's 300 a day. And before the Facebook, generating your own leads came to my awareness, I used to just invest in leads every 4 days or every 5 days, or you can call it weekly. Yeah, as long as you keep the gasoline going, you will have enough ammunition to help families. Just like, for example, let's take this outside of insurance. Back in World War II, who were the ones who won? The one who had the most firepower, D-Day. Who won that battle? The United States of America and the Allies. Why? They had more firepower. If they didn't have the ammunition and they were just there, putting in the effort, they were going to get their asses killed, So as long as you have ammunition, gasoline, however you wanted to put it, burn that in your mind, constant lead flow, week or daily is what you need, regardless of your performance. You can't be biased or bipolar about it. Do not be bipolar about lead investment.
I love that. And that's so, so important because like that's the biggest thing. It's like every time I have someone on a call, Mel, and I typically ask, what did you do to increase your production? It usually, like, I don't think I've ever spoke to somebody who was like, oh, I increased my production by 20 families in a month by just like, I just thought about it better. It's like, no, they increased their lead flow, right? So with that ad spend, you're getting about 20 to 25 fresh leads each day.
Yep.
Versus you were buying them weekly before, which I'm with you. And now kind of with you knowing that every single day you have that spend going, does that influence you to want to wake up and do more?
Yeah, it should to everybody. For example, if it's your first time increasing your lead flow from, let's say, 1,000 a week to 1,500 a week, you got to take the leap of faith first, trusting God first. Then make sure that you train on your craft. Sales skills is very important. You will sell more if you get better at what you do, right? Like if LeBron stops practicing, somebody will make more shots than him. So make sure you continue to develop yourself. And then number three, um, just freaking do.
Absolutely. And with that, you know, like I love how you said that. You have to have the faith in God. You have to train. So like you're like, dude, we're always training. I don't care if you're helping 100 families a month. You should still be learning, right? And then just doing it, even on the days like you don't feel like doing it. Like those are the days you have to do it more. And that's the day that's going to be probably way more rewarding than the day you wake up and you're like, I can't wait to get to the office. Which, by the way, isn't a bad thing either. But with that being said, guys, like you have to just go after it. Like you truly do.
Otherwise you'll be broken out of business. Like if you invest $1,000 more than when you used to, you have to get better. You like it or not, you have to. Otherwise, as a business owner, as an entity, as an enterprise, you will go down, and most business go down. So, do you want to be in that bucket? No.
Right. 100%. And just like you said, like you're incrementally increasing your lead spend until it makes sense for you guys. So it's like we don't all walk in the door and spend, you know, $2,000 a week on leads. We didn't all walk in the door and do that. And your lead flow is going to adapt with you. So you have to realize that too. But you have to be willing to keep working the leads that you're currently working to get to a place where you can be like Mel's doing. Hey, I have a $300 a day ad spend. And it's just reoccurring. He doesn't have to think about it, out of sight, out of mind. It's just charging his card and he's just moving on with his day, right? There's a lot of power in that, guys. Versus I need to get my leads ready. I need to know if I have leads in this area. What if they don't have it? It's like, okay, like stop. Like get on a reoccurring lead resource. It's so, so important. And now, Mel, I want to talk to you a little bit about your process when you're getting folks on the phone. So, I mean, for the most part, and correct me if I'm wrong, it seems like our processes are pretty similar in terms of we're introducing who we are, we're sending our credentials, we're making sure they check them. What are some things that you would highlight and you would say, if I'm talking to somebody as a new agent or I'm talking to somebody who's struggling in the telesale arena, so to say, these are some really important things I would point out for them to know.
Number one is resign from the company club, and I'll explain. Don't be going to the break room and be complaining about the leads. Like it's just negativity is the fastest thing that spreads throughout an environment. So make sure you're careful on what environment you're in. High performance environment or just people complaining. Okay, because we all get the same leads. People say I'm interested. They're not saying I'm gonna buy. Here's my account number. I'm interested. Then your sales process will take them towards the goal line, or not. That's it. And then number two is the sections of your script. Whatever script you use, is usually it touches these phases. Obviously, the introduction, your tonalities is how the prospects interpret the meaning of your questions. And I'll say this again. Your tone is how your prospects interpret the meanings of your questions. So if I call you and I say, hey, Marissa, this is just Mel. I'm just the veterans consultant. I just have some time to call you back. I see here that you served in the Army. I appreciate your service. Thank you. Yeah. And it looks like you were looking into life insurance, or something different, right? Looks like you were looking into life insurance or something different like burial or mortgage protection. See how I sound? Calm, cool, and collected, neutral. I use neutral words like possibly, might be, as opposed to, Hey, this is Mel calling you from the benefit center. You put your date of birth, March 27 of 56. Like, no, they're going to hang up on you. So make sure you take your time. Even though you think you're speaking slow, speak a little bit slower. Pacing. It's called pacing. Take your time because it's a conversation. The most successful life insurance agents I've seen, including myself, we take our time. We don't rush it. We don't rush our sales process because our mindset is it doesn't matter how many people come to our pipeline. We know that 80% of the time, if they go through our process, it's going to work. So we have that in mind. So as long as you have the positive mental attitude and the expectation of short-term setbacks per se, knowing that you're going to get rejection is part of the process, you'll be fine. Because at the end of the day, most deals do not close anyways. I'll say it again. Most deals do not close anyways. And I can confirm that because I'm also in another industry. Most deals do not close anyways in the medical industry either when you're trying to acquire or manage stuff and partner with people. Like, it's not going to, it doesn't matter your sales skills, it's not going to close. So also have in mind that there's 3 brackets of prospects. There's the negative ones, meaning doesn't matter what you say, they're going to say no. Okay? Doesn't matter what you say, they're going to say no. Then you got the positive ones. Doesn't matter what you say, they're going to say yes. Those are the lay downs, right? People love those. Now, we don't get 100% of lay downs, but they're there. And we are there to help them and take advantage of the call because it runs through faster and we can get to the next call. Then the middle group is the ones who have a struggle on deciding on because they're probably never been in a leadership position. They were never an executive, probably. They just a normal employee and who was never taught leadership or decision making and stuff. And that's where your sales skills come in. That's why you get better and self-develop, so you can help them realize they've been procrastinating on taking care of their financial protection as opposed to continuing to delay. And then what else? Word tracks. For example, when you're getting to the point where you're going to ask for the social, people do this different ways. This is how I do it. You can try and see how it works. It works for me. It works for others that we train here. Marissa, once you pass away, I'm not saying that to you, but I'm just saying Marissa exempt.
Once you pass away,
once you pass away, Mark will need a copy of your death certificate. That document, you see how I say? That document will have the cost of your death, and it will also have your social security number, just to make sure that this policy pays out. What will be your social?
Mm-hmm.
Bam. They give you
I'm
social.
like, rattle it off, right?
I understand. Oh, okay, I want this to pay out. Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yep, because you paint a picture, right? Like this is what it's gonna look like, and like instead of being like all caught on your words and like, okay, well, Mel, this is what I needed, and like this is also why, and there's 5 reasons why, and then they're like, okay, but like I didn't trust you 10 minutes ago, now I definitely don't trust you, right? So it's only weird if you make it weird, Christina, 100%. And I also, Mel, like I've made it weird before. Have you?
Yeah, I made it weird sometimes. Sometimes you be aware you can fall off your process, and that's when you pick back up like, oh no, I gotta go back to this, you know?
Right.
So
right.
we're all human.
I love that though, with the social security number. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
You gave a lot there though. So like I asked Mel, guys, just to reiterate, like, hey, like what are some things you think it's important to know? Telesales, new agent, struggling, whatever it might be. Resign from the company club. I love that. Okay. I'm like, Mel, I'm taking that, but I'm gonna trademark it by you. Appreciate it because you are who you surround yourself with. If you're gonna sit in a room with negative people, I promise you're gonna walk out negative. You can go into like, you have anybody like we've all walked into a room and been in like a really good mood, and you walk in and it's like it just like everything feels like everything fell to the ground, and you're just like, oh, like I was having a good day until I came here, right? You don't want to add to that. You don't want to add to that environment if you're near that environment, and you definitely don't want to be a part of that environment. I can tell you right now, anybody that's complaining in the kitchen, like they're not making money. Like they're just not. And all they're gonna do is convince you why you can't make money. And then you both just sit there and have a conversation about how you're never gonna make money. So just like go home if you're gonna do that.
Yeah.
You know, you also hit on a lot of things like the intro, your tonality, right? Like I'm really like loud, I talk really fast just by default. So like when I went from in-home to telesales, like people were like, damn, like this girl is loud, she is like what is going on, right? Like I'm used to like, hey Mel, I'm coming over. I'll see you tomorrow. Like, make it a great
Yeah.
day, right? And they're like, okay, she's a little crazy, but like she's good. I realized on the phone, like I had to like tone it down a bit. Like I had to meet people where they were at. I couldn't be like you said, like I'm giving you a call back from the benefits center here in Massachusetts about their request you sent in. Like they're like, what are you talking about? Like, hey Mel, you're getting back to like slow it down. Even if you think I'd rather feel like I'm talking too slow than I'm talking too fast. Because the second I'm talking too fast in New England, Massachusetts, like no other state knows what I'm saying. Like that's it, game over, right?
Yeah.
So tonality is huge, right? And then also just hitting on like the calm, cool, and collective. And I think a lot of that, like some of us might be like, well, when I sit down to dial, I might not feel calm, cool, and collective. Well, every day that, Mel sits down, he might not necessarily feel calm, cool, and collective, but he's going to act his way into feeling that. Right?
Just like in the movies, for example. Sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah, no, go for it.
have you ever seen Tom Cruise sound scripted in a movie?
Nope.
No, but he does follow a script, doesn't he?
And
We
that's why
follow,
he makes a lot of money.
yeah, we follow a script, but we don't sound scripted. At least the ones who are making it. So why don't you? And don't come up with the excuse like, oh, I'm a new agent, whatever. Like if somebody this analogy, another one. If somebody told you they're gonna put a gun in your head and you say, hey, you better learn this script by Monday, or otherwise you're gone. You will learn the script by Monday. Or like, hey man, you're gonna get disqualified. You're not gonna be able to be part of this exclusive agency solidity if you don't learn this by Monday, right? What do you do? What would I do? I would record myself, send it to my mentor or my manager, or if I had a girlfriend, I'll send it to the girlfriend or whoever in the house. Hey, hear me out. This is the script. Now hear me out. How do I sound? Because you might think you sound good but you gotta hear the other side, the other party. So that's what I'll do. If I was a new agent, I'll hear someone or record someone who's doing great at what I want to do, then compare my tone to his or her tone, record myself, compare my tone to his or her tone again, and then send it to another person, make sure I'm ready, and then present myself the entire sales process to the manager, to the founder, to whoever who can evaluate me on all phases of your script and get it done, right? Just like, for example, when I went to airborne school, you got 3 weeks to figure it out. Like you're jumping out of a plane in 3 weeks. There's no like extra stuff that you could do to get, no, you're going on group A or you're done. So you got 3 weeks to follow week 1, 2, and 3, and then you're jumping. If you mess up, you mess up. You probably, break your neck or whatever. You don't pay attention. So just it's standards, non-negotiables. What are your non-negotiables? And implement them while you're developing to make your first few calls as a new agent. Don't wait and to get on the struggle bus to then start like paying a debt back to the habits that you didn't develop or started where you should have started day one.
100%. And that's where everything really stems from, is exactly that. It's like, if you're willing, like you said, Mel, if someone said, hey, tonight, Mel, you're like, I'm going to come to your house tonight with a gun to your head if you don't learn this script. Like, I'm going to know it. I'm going to be like, give me it right now. I'm going to start learning it. Guys, if we take our business that seriously, like, you're going to win. Like, and once you know the script, like, you know what it says, that's when you become powerful, because just like Mel's saying, that's when you can up your tonality, lower your tonality. You know when to sound calm. You know when to sound like you're more so asking a question. You know where to mix and match. And what Mel just said about, okay, I'm going to record somebody I want to sound like. Guys, this is not an abnormal thing. This is something that every single person on this call should have done or should be doing. I do this personally. I've compared myself with Heather. So thank you, Heather. I've compared myself with Aphrodite. So shout out to you. I've compared myself with a lot of different people just so I can see, where am I at? Where am I dropping the ball? Where can I do better? If you're closing at 70%, how can you close at 80%? If you're like, I'm so good, I talked to 10 people and I closed 9.5 of them. I'm happy for you, but there's going to be a point where you just can't sustain it any longer because you think it's all you have to learn from other people. So guys, like Mel said, record somebody you want to sound like, hear them out, do your presentation, record it as well, hear it together. Do I sound like him? Do I sound like her? And then also asking other people around you, like, hey, would you mind if I do a quick script role play with you? When I was new to the insurance industry, like my sister, like I'm like she remembers because I was literally walking around the house. I had an 8-page script. Mel, if I didn't know the script on Monday, I couldn't start. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna know the script by Monday, right? No big deal. But guys, that's the thing. It's like there's only so much we're saying. So we have to make sure when we're saying it, it's being delivered in the way that we need them to perceive it. So I love that. And guys, I think that's a very doable step that if you're on here right now, like do that for yourself today. Record somebody, listen to a podcast, a training that somebody made that you resonate with. You want to sound like them, or you think it sounds good, and compare it. Share it with other people, and don't be scared for feedback. If you're scared for feedback in this business, I can tell you right now, it's going to come to you in a way that you don't want it to be delivered. It's going to come to you in a way of, Mel, like, we got to talk, man, because you haven't been on dial team for a week, dude. You're telling me that,
You
you're
said
low.
live dials right there. If you're not on live dials, you're broke. I say it again.
Yes,
if you're not
amen.
on live dials for you, the YouTubers, you're broke if you're not on live dials. So get on live dials. On the good live dials, the great ones, not the ones who are just complaining. Another thing is, before we close the topic on the script and the keywords, if you're a new agent or veteran agent and you're trying to get better and you're still sounding scripted and you feel like you're going over the script and you say, well, it don't work, before you go to Reddit and say it doesn't work, try this. A consequence question, right? It builds the urgency in the sale of the prospect, the fear of them of current pain or future pain, project. So let's say I ask you about the solution. Like, Marissa, how would it feel like you being able to solve this problem of not having enough financial protection to pay for your final expenses? How would it feel like that if we could find you something that's affordable, assuming you qualify?
It would feel real good to know that my family is protected. Yeah.
Well, hold on. What happens if because I hate to ask this question. It's my job, but let's be honest. What happens if you decide not to get the insurance, or you could get denied as well? What happens if you don't do anything about this for the next 2 days, 2 weeks, heck, even 2 months, or even 2 years? And let's say you pass away sooner than you thought, because it could happen in an accident. What happens at that point if you never end up resolving this?
I mean, my family would be in a really bad spot.
Sounds like time to make a change, right?
Yeah. And like you just sold it.
Now, is it gonna work? Here's the thing for the new agents, because I hear this every time. Well, I tried it, Melvin, and he said he needed to think about it. I'm telling you, it works most of the time, as opposed to you not asking. It's a tool. It's not gonna work 100% of the time, but it will build an emotional high. So by the time you go over your numbers, you're supposed to ask this question before the numbers. When you ask this question, you're right there. A consequence question sounds like time to make a change. Yeah, well, go over the finances, monthly budget, monthly income, what's left behind after all bills are paid, and then you go over the numbers, your recommendation. They are already on an emotional high if you do it right. When you get over the numbers, the emotional situation that they got in their head and their heart is gonna most likely gonna have a pretty big chance to override the logical, because numbers are logical. Right? If we why do we show the numbers like 15 minutes into the call or later after a consequence question? Why? I already said it. Go back to the recording. And then if you show the numbers at the beginning, it won't work, because they will be on price-based thinking. They will see you as a commodity. And I'm a professional. I don't like to be seen as a commodity by most of my clients.
Right.
So
100%.
Make sure you make it sound natural by interrupting the prospect. Like I interrupted you. I said, hold on. What happens if you, right? As opposed to, and I talked to Trevor this morning, a new agent here at Velocity. We were role playing that before on the way to the office. Mm-hmm. Okay. So make sure that you take your time to see where you at, show the other person where you're at, and level up.
Absolutely. And that's the only way to do it, is by just like being like, guys, no one walks into this industry and is like so great at it. Like we all need feedback. So Don't be the person's like, I'm too shy to get feedback. Like if you're too shy to get feedback, like you're not gonna, it's not gonna look good in this business for you long term. So Mel, I love that. The consequence questions. Like again, just like Mel said, it's a tool. Does it work every time? No. But will it work some of the time? Absolutely. So I love that. And now last couple questions for you, Mel. With life, right? Like everybody has a different thing going on in life. Like, is that fair to say? Like, right?
Yeah.
You know, when you have something come up that maybe might be anxiety driven, maybe it's in the middle of your workday, and you're just like how do you handle that? Like, are you walking away from your desk, or are you staying there, and why?
Like if I get frustrated or like I'm uncomfortable, like at the
Or
moment or
just
something.
like you're going through something personally, like
Yeah. So you
whatever it
got
may be.
a couple things I do. I'll take a walk for like 5 minutes. Listen to like when you feel like not, everything's going wrong, like they tell you they don't want it, they reject you like for 10 times in a row, or something happened in your family, you broke up with your loved one or whatever, you are a low beat. So your situation is to go from low beat to upbeat. How do you do that? You listen to a great podcast, music that you like that will get you for not like if metallic music works for you, use that. And then a great speech too, like people who are already passed away who did great speeches and it will get you pumped up. Listen to somebody like that, or listen to Marissa or Christina, whoever gets you upbeat every time you listen or talk to them, or even a call. Like for example, Jacob is one of the agents here at Velocity. And there was one day that, and it happens to everybody, including the top producers, that everything is going wrong, like on the calls. Like I'm not helping families like from like 9 a.m. It was like 7 p.m. at night. And I'm like, dang. And then they call me like, hey man, what's going on? I'm like, I don't know, man, just going through my process. They're like, keep going, right? Seed number one, positive. And then Jacob was here at the office and he told me, well, Mel, well, tomorrow you'll kill it because the field owes you or the phones owes you. And I appreciate him for that. But at the same time, I'm pretty competitive. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna wait till tomorrow. Let's continue. 3 minutes later, bam, 3 families on the spot, right there. And then two more. I ended the night with 5 families. So it changed the whole dynamic just by being surrounded with the right people. He knows how I want to who I want to be surrounded by. So he levels up when he's with me at the office as well. We both take care of each other.
I love that, and that's huge. I'm not gonna wait till tomorrow. I'm gonna do it right now. And then you wrap the day up with 5 families. Like and that's how quick this business can change. But if Mel took the mentality of I'm gonna go home and feel bad for myself, and I'm gonna like cry it out because I worked for 10 hours and it didn't work out today, but like maybe tomorrow is gonna be a better day. Like if Mel took that road, like tomorrow might not have been a better day for him because mentally he might have beat himself up to a point that it didn't make sense, right? So it's like, guys, stay around those positive people. Like you said, Jacob was there. You gave Dave a quick call. So when you're in those moments that like you don't want to talk to anybody, quite frankly, it's usually the moment like you have to talk to somebody because they're gonna
Yeah,
help you, you know? So I love that, Mel. And I could like give like 85 stories of times that I didn't want to talk to somebody, but I did, and it helped me that day or within my business. So it's like, guys,
yeah.
you gotta reach out, reach out.
Oh, and that night too, like I even FaceTime my mom, and she was like, "See my face," because anybody you can tell by somebody's face most of the time. Body language is very important for new agents and everybody. Even on the
Yeah.
phones, use body language. My mom saw my body language. She was like, "Is there anything wrong with you, son?" I was like, "Oh shoot, I ain't trying to be negative. No, mom, everything is great. I'll call you right back." And bam, then that's when it happened as well. So you know,
I love it. When you called
attitude.
mom back, you probably sounded like a different person.
Yeah,
Exactly. So I
yeah,
love that. I love that. And now just to kind of wrap it up, Mel, because you gave us a ton of good things. And honestly, guys, if you didn't have a notebook out during this call, like you're losing. So I'm sorry, but you should go back and listen to it. But Mel, just to kind of wrap it up, what are your goals to wrap up 2024, whether it's personally, as a team, or both?
yeah. Personal for producer level is to get to Hall of Fame by summer or earlier, and always inspire others to do the same. Continue to surround myself with people who level me up, continue to invest in myself. Doesn't matter how much it costs. If you don't invest in yourself, you're dead. You're existing. As far as a team, 2 to 3 high performing agents per month. Doesn't matter where they are. It could be that they're broke, but they got the right vision and they're willing to listen to me to do exactly what I tell them to do. I'm willing to pour into them, and I'm throwing that out there into the universe. 2 to 3 high performance agents per month, and then for my other business is to close 5 deals or more. So that's where, yeah.
Love it, love it. So Hall of Fame by summer, no doubt you're gonna hit that, especially honestly with the people you surround yourself with, Matt. Like you guys are on freaking fire, and I love, love, love seeing it. And no doubt that that spark is gonna stay strong and alive. So guys, like you guys are killing it, and it's inspiring, and I appreciate it. And then I also love how you said 2, 3 others that are willing to just like that are willing to be coached, that want to be coached, they want to level up, they want to do better for themselves, because there's nothing more rewarding, Mel, correct me if I'm wrong, than seeing a new agent go from like broken to like humble and hungry, right? Like there's a big difference between those two. So no doubt.
Quick story. I came to Roanoke, like I did not start in Roanoke, Virginia. I was in South Carolina, and Dave lives in Roanoke, Virginia. I know he's like, you know, one of the best things happened to me in my life. So I know he lives in Roanoke. What did I do? I left everything aside in South Carolina and moved to Roanoke. It's gonna be May 1st gonna be almost a year that I moved here. I was 120 pounds. Now I'm 149 pounds. I'm fitter than ever. I'm way better than ever. Net worth increase. Tell you something about who you hang around with. And I'm happier, not every day, obviously, but we strive to have a great time. And I'm enjoying it every second here. So, you know.
That's huge. And that's what it's all about. When you can say something like that true from the heart, it's amazing.